fuck with us, you insane in the mind. You cowards way out of line. Money talk, boy, you wasting my time. You don't want to put the work in. You just want to take...
Hello, everyone. Today's guest is known for causing mayhem everywhere he goes. He's always ready for a fight and always ready for the sun's bright rays. He's a Lego-loving lunatic, a sworn enemy of doors, and a man still haunted by the day Elliot Shock made him Jay-Lethal pump his own gas. Please welcome the one and only Mad Dog, Josh Powers.
I am very happy to be here. We're actually recording this time, right?
Yeah, we're actually recording, yes.
Oh, awesome! That was a really good false start we had right before this.
You got to. It's how you get it's the icebreaker. You always say you actually start it later.
You get the jitters out. It's a really good technique to get your guest warmed up. It was great. 10 out of 10. No notes.
Yeah. Before we hop in, where can everybody find you on social media?
On socials, I'm the Josh Powers on Instagram. I don't mess with the app formerly known as Twitter anymore. But I'm on Facebook, Josh Powers. Come find me. And I post things every once in a while when I think about it.
Has anybody ever ruined something as quick as Elon Musk ruined Twitter?
It was pretty quick. Twitter, it's one of those cultural zeitgeist things that you kind of take for granted after a while, and then you realize one day, it's not gonna last forever. It's tough because I loved my Twitter so much.
Yep.
Where do I get my news now? Where do I get my dank memes?
Reddit just doesn't scratch the itch. It's just
Reddit is too far behind everything. It's too slow, too reactive. Twitter is the cutting edge. Now it's all just all 1488 usernames.
Yeah.
Talking about great replacement theory, and I'm just I just want to see wrestling stuff.
Yeah, that's how we got our start here. Is that we did a match of the day. So every day we would clip a match and post it on Twitter, and that's without Twitter we wouldn't have gotten here. But I have a wild Twitter wrestling crossover story. I'll redact the name, but he is a wrestler promoter in North Carolina, and this is a sentence he said to me one time. He said, "Hey man, I don't know what I did, but my Twitter is just porn." And I was like, huh. And then he pulled up Twitter on his phone and he showed me, and it was. And I don't know if he's never heard of the algorithm. I don't know if truly he just got the fucking shitty into the Twitter stick. But yeah.
It never had that for me because I feel like my porn consumption is not the level that would ruin my Twitter algorithm. There's a separation of church and state there.
I was literally just
that you maintain.
You don't shit where you eat.
But listen, guys, there's so many other ways to get your fix.
Yeah. That
don't leave algorithmic traces or show up on your credit card statements. Yeah, it's 2025. There's no need to be broadcasting your preferences publicly unless that's what you're into, in which case I guess keep on liking those weird Twitter posts.
My favorite thing ever though that came from Twitter is what was his name? He was a Zodiac killer. Ted Cruz actually liked a pornographic video on
Mm-hmm.
That was
I remember that. That was top 10 Twitter days for sure.
That was top 10 was much simpler now. I would kill for a senator accidentally liking a porn. I would kill for that.
And now they're we must secure a future for the existence of our white children and all that. And everybody's like, okay.
Yeah.
That sounds fine.
Yeah. It's a fucking mess.
Anyway, fun stuff. Not that.
Find everybody. If you just search for Josh Powers, are you aware that there's another Josh Powers wrestler out there?
Yeah, and he totally ruins my cage match database rankings because he was active from I think 06 to 12 or 13. So the beginning of my career, you would think I started several years before in Minnesota.
Yeah.
Don't know the guy. I didn't mean to be Josh Powers. I didn't like wake up one day and think, oh, like that's gonna be my name. Like 5 minutes before my first match, my trainer was like, oh, by the way, like, what's your wrestling name? And I was like, I guess I hadn't thought about it. And he handed me a list of like last names. He was like, just Josh something. It was like Josh Nitro, Josh Phoenix. And I was like, oh, Josh Powers is the only one that like sounds like remotely not terrible and indie-rific. And because he was like, oh, wait, by the way, you can't use your own last name. And I was like, probably shouldn't do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then by the time I realized, oh, I'd like to change it, and there's another one, it was kind of too late. It kind of stuck.
Yeah.
Or at least in my little circle. And, we're 15 years later, we're committed.
Yeah. Do you think that the list he gave you is just 2K? It's just like the preset names that the announcer would say?
I don't know if he, like, knew what 2K was.
Okay.
Because it was like that, like, podunk.
Okay.
I don't know if they're familiar with Xbox technology.
That's you come from the great town of Roebuck, is that correct? In South Carolina?
Well, I ended up in Roebuck. I grew up in Welford, South Carolina, and then moved down to Roebuck with my family in college, which I claimed it because I did more stuff down there. But yeah, big Spartanburg guy.
I'm in North Carolina. Everybody thinks North Carolina is better than South Carolina. Why are we wrong? Or are we wrong?
Man, you know what? What even is better? You know, y'all's roads are confusing. Our roads have potholes, so it's 1-1 on that. I'm South Carolina. We got our issues, but I was born and bred to think that we were better for whatever reason. Y'all have Cheerwine up there. Great. We ship it down here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't really. We have Greenville. I'm in Greenville now. Greenville's nice. It's better than y'all's Greenville, I like to think.
For sure.
With Pirates. Yeah, so I don't have a strong opinion either way, but I'd choose South Carolina probably.
Cooler liquor stores.
I've never been in the market for liquor in North Carolina, so I couldn't tell you.
They're all ABC stores. None of them are fun. They all look the same.
Oh yeah, we have some with character down here. We got your Total Wines and stuff.
Yeah, and you don't even you have Myrtle Beach. Do you claim Myrtle Beach?
And the Gatlinburg of the beach. Well, I guess Gatlinburg is the Myrtle Beach, the mountains.
That's what I say. See,
the thing is, I love Gatlinburg, so who am I to say?
Yeah.
I love me some good airbrush T-shirts.
If you had to,
that's probably it.
Let's say you had airbrush T-shirts are $25. You have $100 for T-shirts. What are you getting put on them?
Tasmanian Devil played basketball 4 times.
Okay, are they different? Are they all the same, or just like?
All Tasmanian Devil in different poses. Like one where he's pulling up his shorts, he can't keep him up. One, his bottom is twisting and he's hitting you with a sit cross. Maybe one Lola Bunny actually, out of the 4.
Lola Bunny, a lot of people credit her as being like a Jessica Rabbit figure. Which cartoon character, if you could pick, would you fuck?
Oh, jeez. I didn't know it was that kind of show.
Yeah. It's the Laugh and Lariat and Live Laugh Lariat.
Jessica Rabbit's cop out.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're gonna choose a cartoon character, it's got to be I love the Hear Me Out cakes or whatever that have been big.
Yeah.
But it's really funny because all the dudes are classically female coded character. Oh wow, we made Lola Bunny purposefully hot in the 90s, made her look like a human, anthropomorphic. And then women are I like the zombie from that one movie, or Lightning McQueen or something. So I guess, man, I'm a big fuck the police guy, and Judy Hopps really reminds me of that mantra.
Yeah.
So that's a fun one I can joke about and not commit to.
Yeah.
Let's go with that.
So when you say ACAB, is it all cops are bastards or all cops are bad? Which one, or is it both for you?
I mean, I guess bastards being the original. I'd hate to bastardize it further, you know.
What are your thoughts on the Paw Patrol? Should they also be defunded?
Man, I think it's systemic. I think that the Paw Patrol still serves the wants and needs of the state. They're there to protect capital over humanity, and for that, sorry, Paw Patrol. You are also a cab.
So, childhood, kind of in the Spartanburg area. You strike me as like a youth group kind of guy. You've got big youth group. I do too. It's almost like there's a sense of humor that you can only have from being exposed to youth group, and then later, like deconstructing from that. And I don't know where you are with your faith or whatever, but it's definitely a type.
Brother, when I agreed to come on the podcast, I didn't think I'd be talking about my evangelical deconstruction. I wanted to talk about like folding chairs and stuff. I mean, we'll do it. Like I guess.
Well, we can have you back on for that, but like I would love that.
Yeah, no, I definitely I grew up super evangelical. We grew up Southern Baptist. Yeah. I was the kid who was there anytime the doors were open. I was there. I wanted to be there. And I was, like youth group leader, all that. I played the guitar in the worship band. I interned for my youth pastor in college. I worked as a college missionary my first 2 years out of college. Before all that came, immediately came crashing down. I was like, wait a minute, I don't believe any of this. And that is a whole other podcast discussion. We'll do it sometime. We'll take my deconstruction timeline.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, you pegged me for a youth group kid. That's good for you.
Yeah.
I guess it's just my aura.
Well, the thing about like Christianity is so performative, especially like Southern Baptist and evangelical. It's all about like you're doing skits like in youth group, you're doing like songs, you're going to like it's a different, unique environment where you're constantly like put under it's almost like it's like improv for God.
Pretty much. And you don't realize that you're doing it.
Yeah.
So you're out of it for a little while, and like you start seeing all of these performative aspects, and you start seeing all the things that you were doing without even thinking about that. Like when you stop doing it, or like the language that you use, yeah. Like you listen back about how someone's in a hard season of life, or like other like just nonsensical phrases or whatever that you hear. And then after a couple months of being away from it, you're like, wait, like it's kind of weird. Like it's weird that I used to think that and like act like that and communicate like that. It feels so inauthentic.
Yeah.
And so now being away from religion for about 4 or 5 years now, I just don't even think about it anymore. Yeah. Typically, it's just not even something on the radar.
It's something that comes up like a couple drinks in, like our long car rides with the friend with the similar situations. It's also something that you can't really talk about because like in giving it up, you lose a whole community that kind of knew where you were coming from. So, but yeah, that we could save that for another. I have a feeling we could both probably talk a lot about that, but.
Do our own deconstruction podcast.
Hell yeah.
Invite all the evangelical wrestlers on,
dude.
or all all the evangelical ones too. Come on, let's talk about it. Let me talk you out of it.
Yeah, yeah.
Let me convince you otherwise.
That sounds fucking fun. But like for me, I wasn't like wrestling was something I was kind of ashamed of as a Christian kid. My dad was a pastor. I know that's not everybody's different. Like I wasn't allowed to listen to Christian, non-Christian music, so like I was very sheltered. But how does wrestling?
Skillet Kid.
What's that?
Did you listen to Skillet?
Yes. Well.
Yeah.
Skillet. Like,
as hard as you could go.
Yeah. I was a big Switchfoot guy, Reliant K.
Toby Mac.
Toby Mac. Yeah.
Toby Mac was pushing the boundaries of good taste in my Southern Baptist church.
Although I don't know that Irene goes pretty fucking hard. That flamingo guitar.
Big DC talk guy.
Yeah, which is it's so funny now realizing that one of the lead singers is now like he had to quit because like everybody outed him for being gay and like all of this stuff, and it's just like now you're getting a taste of the medicine that you helped distribute for all of this time. But
I couldn't imagine the leopards would ever eat my face.
But where does wrestling come into things for you?
I didn't watch wrestling until my best friend from middle school. I was a theater kid and athlete.
Yeah.
And I just never got around to wrestling. My parents, same thing. They were like, they thought it was kind of like shameful or like weird. My mom hated it because she said that when she was growing up, her grandfather would always be screaming at the TV about Wahoo McDaniel. And like if Wahoo McDaniel lost or got beat up, it ruined everybody's Sunday because he was such a big Wahoo McDaniel fan. He'd take it out on everybody else and be like, don't talk to me today. Wahoo McDaniel got his leg broke. So I never got into it until like 9th grade. I was at my buddy's house and he was like, hey, so just watch like one episode of SmackDown with me and you're going to love this. Like you're going to be super into this. And the first SmackDown I watched, the very first episode, this would have been right before WrestleMania 24. I believe. And the first match I ever saw was Undertaker versus Big Daddy V.
Oh.
And like I went back and watched it years later. I just probably just a couple years ago. I actually like looked it up. Not very good.
No.
Not a very good match. But I remember sitting there and being like, oh, like I just get this. Like I totally understand this. I totally get what it is. This is awesome. I want to do it. And that was like the first time ever seeing it. I was like, oh, like, yeah, no, I'm totally in for this. Sign me up.
Yeah.
And so when I was 17, I convinced my parents to let me go train Chief J Eagles in Spartanburg.
Yeah.
Because that was before, I didn't know anybody in wrestling. I didn't know anybody in the business. There was no one to tell me like, hey, like, do some better research on where you're training, go to somewhere reputable. Of course, back then there weren't nearly as many like good schools in like 2010 as there are now. Like now you got PCW, you got Firestar. I'm gonna forget somebody, so I shouldn't have started naming them. But like there's so many places in the Carolinas you can go. But back then I just didn't know.
Yeah,
it was like first thing that pops up. I started in Spartanburg and 8 training sessions in. They were like, all right, cool. Well, you can start wrestling now.
Yeah.
And threw me in the ring and, cause they knew that all my friends would show up from school.
Yeah.
And they could make $10 a pop off them.
Why don't you take a picture? It'll last longer.
I turn my camera on. I cut my fingers on the way. On the way.
I'm not rocking with this segment picture, but
I could, I'm sorry. So I don't.
If listen to the audio, you need to open up and watch the video portion.
Yeah.
Because it's pretty. It's a sight to behold.
Yeah, it's me on Chad Kroger's head from the.
Let's
Yeah, I think this is the first ever wrestling picture I found, so I don't know how close we are to this, but.
Oh my God!
First question: who did this guy ever beat?
Nobody, man. This guy couldn't wrestle his way out of a wet paper bag. Yeah, that I guess my first ever quote unquote promo picture. They just slapped me in front of a wall, and they're like, "All right, pose." But you can see if you look right above my left eye, I broke my eye socket in my very first match, and this was like 2 months after that.
Oh shit.
You can see it's still puffed up. Yeah, so I was wearing this singlet that somebody found for me at like a thrift store and just handed to me. And I was like, cool, yeah, this is what I'm wearing. And as you see, I'm baby faced with a full head of hair.
Yeah.
So I played. I'm as you see, I am Chrome Dome now.
Yeah.
I played lacrosse in high school and college, and so I had at one point like hair down like to my shoulders. This was like a year or two before this picture. But yeah, I had to have like the flow coming out of the bottom of my helmet because that was all the rage back in the day. But it would like curl up real bad. So this is evidence that I used to have a full ass head of hair and some noodle arms.
So what is your Josh Powers here? What is Josh Powers, if anything, at this point?
Happy to be here. Just glad to be living my dream of, wrestling in front of 40 people every weekend. And not making a single dime.
Yeah.
At this point. Yeah, I was just kind of out there doing stuff. I joke that I didn't get any good at this, which I still wouldn't say I'm like great at it. But I didn't get any good until like 10, 11 years in when something like clicked for me and I was like, oh, like I get this now. Like I know, I kind of know what I'm doing. I had no idea what I was doing back then. It was just like, oh, cool, we're going to go out and do these moves and 3 elbows and come off the ropes, back elbow, brother. Yeah, but man, like, when I came up, it was me and TK that runs Pro Wrestling Turbo with me. We came up together. He came in like a year after I did, I think. But man, like, it's one of those things where like you look back and you don't want to watch those matches. You never I never want those to see the light of day. Like if I could scrub for YouTube, but man, like those were like the funnest times ever. Like when you first start out and you're just you're going to shows with your friends and you have no idea like what you're doing, but it's like, oh, like I'm gonna go out and we're gonna do it, we're gonna wrestle, because this is what we all have in common and what we all like doing. So it's one of those things. I really look back at those times fondly at everything outside of what I was actually doing in the ring.
Yeah.
It was also the first time youth group kid had ever seen drugs up close. Was in the APW Spartanburg locker room.
Yeah.
So that was really fun. Like, oh, white powder, that's cool. Like, what's that? Like, is that goodies? Like, is it because your back hurts? Yeah. Oh, okay, that's how you take it. All right. No, I don't want any. No, thank you. I love Christ.
Yeah. So my memory might be betraying me, but did TJ Boss also come up out of APW's Spartanburg?
Yeah, he came from I think it was called SCW in Greenwood, and he and Dean Richards, who is like a big turbo guy too. Yeah. Both came from there, and I distinctly remember, and Big Game James too came out of there. If you're familiar at all with South Carolina wrestling, but no, I remember TJ started coming to APW Spartanburg because he wanted somewhere more legit or whatever than SCW, because it's just like barely a one step like further away from the backyard, I guess. But I remember TJ was like really good at doing stuff, and he came to me after a match one time and was like, "Hey man, like, what'd you think?" I don't know why he asked me of all people. Yeah. But I was like, everything looked good, but it was like watching a video game. Like it felt like nothing mattered, and all the moves were, just kind of moves. And he was like, "Yeah, that makes sense. Okay." And then, like, he came up to me a couple months later and was like, hey, like, I thought about what you said. Like, I totally changed everything. And, like, now, and, like, he turned into just amazing. Like, TJ's so good. And I don't want to, like, I'm not taking credit for TJ Boss or anything. But I just remember seeing that evolution and be like, oh, he's going to be better than all of us. Cool. Like, yeah, like, yo, he's going to rock it.
Yeah.
And I haven't seen TJ Boss in a minute. I should hit him up. But no, like, some of the stuff he was doing in PWX was like, TJ was just kind of on a different level.
Yeah.
Like pre-pandemic PWX was that was a time. I don't know. Were you around for any of that?
I wasn't, but I've done enough of these that like I'm like
You've heard the lore.
Yeah, I've heard the lore.
Yeah, it was you either wanted to be on PWX or AML. Those were, if you could get on one of those two, you were somebody. You were something.
Yeah, for sure.
And so with PWX, I was on a few of their main roster shows, because I was just, nice guy and they liked having me around. But I definitely worked my way up through, because they had the PWX Pure shows, which is like their developmental or whatever, but like developmental. But those Pure shows in Hebron Hall with like packed in with like 120 people in this little warehouse were like an absolute blast.
Yeah.
I actually remember bringing back to TJ. We had a match at Pure, and we just kind of hossed each other, and it was a blast. It was so much fun. He chops you really hard. Yeah. This is a picture of me and Terry Funk. Used to wrestle down at Trans South Wrestling in Union, and they brought Terry in for a seminar. And it was like $100 for the seminar, just for him to come in and like look at you lock up and then like tell stories. But it was like so much fun. Like Terry was such a good dude. So the main event, he was managing somebody. He didn't actually wrestle, but of course we did a spot where the locker room emptied and all the heels came out and took a kendo stick shot from Terry, and he came to me in the back, and as you see, I unsuccessfully get my hands up on the kendo stick shot and just kind of take it across the dome. And he comes to the back, and he was like, "Oh, you're the only one that didn't feed a hand, and you actually took it across the forehead. You're a crazy son of a bitch. You hardcore one day." I was like, "Yeah, man, cool, that's great. You're Terry Funk. I'll do anything you tell me to do." And then we shared chips at El Poblano across the street from the fairgrounds, and he wanted to talk to me because I stopped asking about wrestling, and everybody else wanted to talk about wrestling. I just wanted to ask him about Jackass. I was like, you did Jackass, right? Like the movie? And he was like, oh yeah, and like starts talking about Johnny Knoxville and how much fun they had. And somebody was like, oh Terry, with this match, he's like, I'm talking about Jackass, come on. But super sweet guy.
Yeah.
It was the only time that I got to spend time with him. It was just one day, but I mean, he was just absolute sweetheart of a man.
Yeah, yeah.
He came in to do the seminar, but he gave some feedback on my match and stuff. Said some really nice, positive things about me. Just super, super good dude all around. But yeah, so that's my Terry Funk experience.
Nice.
Is getting domed and then eating tortilla chips.
It sounds like the perfect night. That's worth $100 alone.
You can't ask for much more.
No, not at all.
This is, if I remember this correctly, this is also from Trans South Wrestling, and this is from the show at the Broad River Co-op building, our first one. And this would have been me and Jackson James versus TK Stark and Jet Black, which that's a couple names in there that don't come up much in the year of our Lord 2025. So first of all, I didn't post this. I'm not a big post, the match card online, brother kind of guy. Damn, kayfabe's dead. Let's not piss on its grave, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's stuff like this, and like making fun of people for slapping their leg and stuff, and all that online. Like, oh, like congratulations, veteran! Like you're so much smarter than the rest of us. Let's tell the rest of the world how we do this.
Yeah.
Like, the first page of the first sentence of the pro wrestling Wikipedia page, it tells you what wrestling is. Like, it's not a secret anymore. We're not trying to hide it anymore. But like, there's no need to rub it in people's faces that this is what we do. That's an act. But anyway, so that's my soapbox about posting this specific picture online. But no, I remember this was me and Jackson James. And we didn't tag regularly or anything, but me and Jake still talk a little bit. But this was it was special because it was against TK, who aforementioned is the brain behind Turbo, and Jet Black, who we also trained with. And TK and Jet tagged as a Chemical Z when they came up, and honestly, like, a lot of fun tag team. Jet Black was like so good. It sucks that he stepped away from wrestling, because he was like, if Jet Black had been around 5 years later, then he would have been going places. He would have been all over, because he was a lot smaller, more athletic guy, and just never got in front of the right people to be like, oh, like you're on a different level, like you're good, like. Yeah. Jet Black and I also tag teamed together for a minute. And we called ourselves Black Powers, which really, really upset a lot of ring announcers in Western North Carolina. Like, I'm not saying that. Like, well, brother, it's the name of our team. Like, what's wrong with it? Oh, well, I can't say Black Power. Like, why? Tell me why. Why won't you do it? Come on. Be real with me. Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then Cauliflower Brown and Redacted directly underneath that. Cauliflower Brown. That's another one I haven't heard. I finally started watching Righteous Gemstones, and Kelvin's Muscle Men or whatever. Yeah. Like, I don't know. Do you watch Righteous Gemstones?
Yeah.
Yeah. So one of the Cauliflower Chase Brown was one of Kelvin's Muscle Men. And like you would recognize him if you saw him. If you don't know, because there's like one or two reaction shots they get of him, and like it's very clearly him. And I was watching, and I was like, he pops up on screen. I was like, that's Chase Brown? Like, where'd you come from?
Yeah, there's who else was in that?
Caleb Conley, I know, was in it.
Zayd.
He was one of the muscle men. Big Game James was in the first episode of season 2. He was just like in the background of one of the wrestling scenes or whatever. They called me about that. I talked to the stunt director, and I was like, cool, yeah, no, I'm totally down for it, because at the time, this was like during COVID, was when all this was going on. I was working as a substitute teacher and living with my parents, just needing something to do with my life. Yeah. I was like, oh yeah, this would be so great. Like, what a big break for me, being on an HBO show in the background. And then the guy just never called me back. I was like, oh, cool. And so I was really bitter and spiteful about it for a while. And I was like, oh, I'm not watching Righteous Gemstones. Then I watched it, and I was like,
it's so good.
What a dumb thing to be mad about. Like, it's a fun show. Yeah. It's specifically, I was mad because I wanted to work with Tim Baltz, who plays BJ.
Yeah.
Because as we've discussed, big comedy improv guy.
Yeah.
I currently do improv, but in 2013 went with my college. I was at Clemson, and I was in Mock Turtle Soup, the improv troupe at Clemson. And for spring break, we went to Chicago. Saw Tim Baltz perform at I.O. Theater in Chicago, and completely blew me away. It was like the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life. He was so funny. And then he did, like, at the end of the show, he was about to do an SNL audition, so he came out and like demoed some characters from his audition, and like I still think about some of them to this day. Like, he was that good and like that transcendent above everybody else. I was like, oh, like, this guy's great. It's like I talked to him a few times on Twitter, like 2014, 2015, just like, hey man, like, I just want to say, like, you really inspired me. Like, you You showed me good improv. And he responded, and he was so nice. And so when he finally started like being in stuff, like when he started coming to like the Comedy Bang Bang universe and stuff, and like that whole circle. I think he was on a couple like those CISO shows, like Bajillion Dollar Properties.
Oh yeah.
In one of those. Did you ever watch those?
Yeah, I watched Bajillion Dollar. It's actually very good.
Dude, I love Bajillion Dollar Properties.
That's that. And then my brother and me had a show that I watched that was on there. I think that's the only CISO that I watched though. But I do remember that being a big deal for like the podcast world because they like all of the podcasters, like all of those guys were getting shows.
Yeah, and then Tim Baltz had the show like Shrink, where he was like a dude trying to get his hours for his accreditation to be a counselor or whatever, and it was so much fun, like such a fun show. Yeah. Big Tim Baltz fan. But yeah, no, the Comedy Bang Bang Wolf style universe. I was very happy when we first started talking.
Yeah.
To find out that was kind of like your jam too,
yeah,
like those like improv adjacent.
Yeah. What was I gonna say? Like Twitter Twitter for comedy, like underrated as well. Like
like back peak Harris Whittles. Rest his soul.
Yeah. I've never talked about Harris Whittles with anybody. So have you ever listened on Comedy Bang Bang? He had a segment called Foam Corner.
Bro, I've listened to every Foam Corner like 15 times.
Yeah,
like Malcolm Gmail Warner. Like I always hit people with the I just think it's so fun. The one about I'm starting a Jamaican, Spanish, Irish small plate breakfast restaurant called Tapas de Marnin Tija. It's so fucking stupid.
Yeah.
But it's like when I like to think of myself as a pretty funny guy or whatever, but I didn't really like discover that sense of humor in myself until like I found like the Earwolf stuff, like we lean so hard into the corny jokes that like it's like not funny anymore, but like it's funny because it's less funny. And like just like that generation of like Hollywood handbook style humor.
Yeah.
It informs, if you watch any of my promos, like I feel like you'll see the influence of a lot of that kind of stuff. Cause like wrestling promos, I stopped studying wrestling just in general. Especially for like the promo aspect, because the wrestling, it all gets derivative. It becomes wrestling promos about wrestling promos, and the wrestling becomes about wrestling. And same thing is I noticed that doing improv is like so much improv becomes about improv, and so realizing what that does, I started seeing like we get wrapped up in a wrestling bubble, and so when during the pandemic, I was playing around because do you have pictures, anything to do with Mad Dog backstory? Or anything? I don't know what we have coming up, or if we can just get to this now.
Yeah, kind of. I have that Mad Dog slide of like to kind of talk about the characters.
We'll get to that then. We'll save that for that slide. I don't want to blow everything right now.
It's totally fine. We can blow it whenever we want to. But yeah, I think. I found very few people that like some of this stuff here, and this is the slide I was talking about earlier of the kind of early on where maybe you were having the most fun with it. But like comedy, like everybody is like, oh, I love stand-up comedy, and they're like, oh yeah, fucking Joe Rogan, like all of that dumb shit. But like,
a lot of stand-up comedy now, like especially like in the Joe Rogan verse, like politics and stuff aside, it's like a lot of the comedy is like too mean for me, and it kind of punches down. And it's not something I rock with, and I feel like the improv based comedy community is a lot more generally supportive, generally like just nicer. Well, because I mean, improv is collaborative, stand-up is cutthroat. I mean, stand-up is similar to wrestling in a lot of ways of, like, there's limited spots, and the nature of it is only one person gets to go up there. But then, like, improv, you can't have that big of an ego. Like, you have to learn to collaborate with people because, you're on a team of 5 or 6 people, and you're having to trust each other and work with each other to make something happen. And I just find that a lot more appealing than I've done stand up a couple times.
Yeah.
And it's fun. Like I like stand up. I like public speaking class in college and stuff. Loved it. It was my favorite. People are like, oh, like how are you so comfortable doing public speaking? I'm like, well, I've had a knife pulled on me in a parking lot after a wrestling match. So doing a speech about dumb bullshit in college, like when nobody wants to stab me, hopefully.
Yeah.
Way easier.
Stakes are way lower.
But yeah, no, I definitely rock with like improv a lot more. And I think that carries over into wrestling a lot of like it takes away a little bit of your ego working stuff like that, and like helps you see like the bigger picture of a scene or a game, and applying that to wrestling, it helps you realize, oh, like I'm a big moves don't matter guy now. Well, the moves matter, but like what you do in between is like the important part, and like how you put it all together. And so like being able to apply improv concepts to wrestling, you know, like collaborative stuff, being able to feel stuff in the ring, feel the reactions of the crowd, being able to, you know, like apply that to like your view of kayfabe and like what's going on in the ring, and you know the universe that you exist within. I feel like improv is like so much more applicable than, you know, stand up, and so I guess utility wise, yeah, like, but also like it's just so much more fun to see a good improv scene come together to me.
Yeah.
Than, you know, like go up and talk about how much you hate women.
Yeah. It's bummer. I love
50% of stand up that I see nowadays.
Yeah. If you like Rory Scovel, South Carolina guy.
I've never seen Rory Scovel stuff actually.
I think you would like him. He's very like off the wall. Like he does stand up comedy, but I'll find a bit or send it to you or something. But yeah, like guys that look at things like try to like do something that's never been done before. Like I feel like that's what some of the like we're seeing now, especially with people like producing their own specials and stuff like that. You can kind of get really meta with it.
Do you rock with Conor O'Malley?
Connor, is that the big dude?
Yeah, he's a big dude. He's in all the I Think You Should Leave stuff with Tim Robinson.
The porn guy.
Yeah. So he incredible. Go watch all of his YouTube stuff. Like he's got this short film called The Mask that I encourage everyone to go look up. Where he plays this dude who basically the arc of it is he loves doing improv. He's not very good at it. He perfectly captures the youth group guy that like never quite grew up.
Yeah.
In like the South or the Midwest, and now he's like really like aggressive about everything, and like hyper masculine, but also like just scared to be vulnerable about stuff.
Yeah.
If you watch any of his stuff, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about, and like kind of encapsulates like the modern man or whatever. But like The Mask, he's like he goes out, does improv, but then he's so bad at it and like doesn't get anything. His roommate like gets him into like a really weird conspiracy theory, and like he kind of spirals. And that's incredible. But where was I going? How did we get to Conor O'Malley? There was a point out his stand-up special. He does a stand-up special. He's in character, and he's created the world's first AI stand-up comedian. And, like, it's so funny. Like, it's so good. And like, you know, but like the joke behind it, you know, is, you know, he's this dude who is like really insecure and super macho, and his life is falling apart in the background behind him, you know, as he's like, you know, coming up with his AI thing. It's like throughout the show you find out more and more about how terrible his life is. And I love that kind of performance, that kind of, you know, like one-man show style of stand-up.
Yeah.
Big Conor O'Malley guy. Go check it out.
Okay, I've seen he's on Seth Rogen frequently. Or not Seth Rogen, Seth
Meyers. He's a writer for Seth.
Yeah, I've seen like
he's married to A.D. Bryant on SNL.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. But he's very, very funny. Big influencer Mad Dog, honestly.
Yeah.
The promo style that I've been doing when I cut promos, because I'm terrible at cutting promos, it's very heavily influenced by a lot of his YouTube stuff. Just a lot of real frenetic energy, like hard cuts, a lot of like yelling.
Yeah.
just like doing wacky random shit.
Yeah.
And that's more fun to me than, you know, sitting in my car cutting a promo or whatever.
Yeah.
Is like I'm gonna go out and scream in public, and people are gonna look at me like I'm an insane person.
Yeah.
Which is a lot of fun with a public facing real job. You hope that no one ever notices you with you put on the pit vipers instead of the regular glasses. My Clark Kent mode.
I don't do promos, but like Mark and I have, it's called First Bake, and like we get sent, like, for instance, I'm drinking like this right now, but like we get sent a ton of stuff, and like everybody does the same thing. We're like, oh, check this out, like, so I'll take the product, I'll get high, I'll like record stuff while I'm smoking it, and then I'll edit it while I'm high, just because like the stuff that you think of, like I turned one of them into a horror movie, like just like random, like it was JP Lehman that I talked about, but like I feel like you're in your best zone when you're trying to like make yourself laugh, like when you're doing stuff for yourself, and like at the moment that you start trying to make other people laugh, you fail. Like I feel like people need to understand that you have an audience, and not everybody is your audience, and by trying to get everybody to be to your audience, you're not going to have any audience. But if you commit to what you love and you make the stuff that you find funny, you're going to get an audience that appreciates that, and it's going to grow, and it's going to be 10 times better than anything else you could do.
Yeah, and for me that was really big in wrestling, because before, like pre-pandemic, I kept, the feedback I kept getting was like, you know, like I didn't really have a character. I was just kind of being me because I'm a big personality.
Yeah.
But like that didn't really overcome the fact that I didn't have like a defining characteristic. I was like, oh, like that's the big funny guy, but like what's his thing? Like he wrestles okay.
Yeah.
But I was definitely trying to wrestle in a certain way to achieve a certain goal, and thought that I had to like pigeonhole myself into, you know, I was a square trying to fit into a round hole. Mm-hmm. And you know, there's a distinct style that a lot of guys wrestle and try to ape, that, you know, they think, oh, this is going to get me signed, this is going to get me here, this is going to get me here. And I definitely fell into that trap of being like, oh, I have to like wrestle and like think and put my matches and my promos and present myself a certain way because I want to get signed to NXT, brother. And all of my stuff was real. I was never going to get signed. Doing what I was doing, looking the way I was looking, having the gimmick that I was having, like looking back on it, it was like, oh, like no one was ever threatened by you, like to take their spot or whatever, and down in Orlando.
Yeah.
But around pandemic time was when I discovered the current iteration of Mad Dog. And then coming back out of that, when I was like, oh, you know, I never know. Man, you're scrolling through pictures, and now that's it's too much for me to think about and process all at once.
Yeah.
Because all the memories are flashing back, going through those. But no, definitely there was a moment where I stopped thinking about wrestling being the future, because the pandemic was happening, and I was like, oh, like I don't know what is going to happen in like a year from now.
Yeah.
I just started kind of going out and wrestling the way that I wanted to and presenting myself the way that I wanted to. Steve Corino gave me the Mad Dog gimmick back in like 2014. Because he was like, oh, like I love your energy, like you have very buzzsaw your energy about you, very intense, yada yada yada. I didn't mean to yada 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 Steve Corino.
Yeah, no, it's
Steve was super good to me at the beginning of my career. I would go up, and I was a big OG Hubert PWF bingo hall guy back in the day. But yeah, he was like, come in and wrestle for me and be Mad Dog. And all Mad Dog was just me like yelling and having a chain. And so I thought I had to be this like super intense kind of character. And you see, you know, there's another Mad Dog out there getting a lot more traction than I am, Mad Dog Connolly.
Yeah.
Mad Dog Connolly, if you happen across this, brother, we should tag. I think we'd have a blast. You know, he's very intense, he's pulling off what I was trying to do way better than I was ever going to do, because I'm not a big, like, yelling, growly, angry, you know, that's just not me like that, like, in real life or in the ring. And everybody kind of, like, could see that it was phony, I feel like. And so during the pandemic, I was like, what if I just kind of did like, going back to, not studying wrestling anymore, like stop watching Mad Dog Buzz Sawyer promos. What are you into? I'm super into like Eric Andre, the Conor O'Malley stuff we talked about. Like, what would that wrestler look like? Like, what would it look like if Eric Andre became a professional wrestler? Like, it would be like what would his promos be? It would be like this real off the wall, out of left field, completely different from what anybody else is doing kind of stuff. And so, I would do, like I did a couple like super cinematic promos or whatever where I basically turned into like 5-minute short film promos. And I do stupid stuff where like, I did a promo for Apple City where I did an acrostic or a mnemonic device for what Mayhem stood for. Uh-huh. And like the smash cut style, like being in weird locations, doing weird stuff in between, just like existing in that space of where Mad Dog actually lives. That was really big for me, like realizing, oh, like I can kind of make this what I want. And that bled over to my matches where I was like, oh, like I don't have to wrestle this one certain way. What I am good at is this. I'm going to lean into this. And the response has been off the charts. Like it's completely night and day, like how people perceive my work. 2025 than they did in like 2017, 2018 when I was busting my ass to try to do so much and work this certain way. And then I realized, oh, like being me is a lot more compelling than being what I think I should be.
Yeah.
There's only one Walter. Like you can't wrestle like Walter. There's only one Kevin Steen. You can't wrestle like Kevin Steen. Yeah. Like don't try to do that. Like figure out what works for you or me. And I finally started to figure out what works for me and the way that I can, structure my matches or, perform in the ring, the moves to hit or whatever. And it feels a lot more authentic. And I think that people are starting to, I think that fans, feel that a lot more than I used to. And I look at it as a lot more like, theater performance than, trying to go get my shit in.
Yeah.
And so that was really a big realization for me.
I feel like wrestling, and you do improv, and there's so many, like there's music and there's all like, it's all a way to, it's just a different form of canvas. And I feel like there's so many good wrestlers. There's too many wrestlers. There's so many good wrestlers. If you're not being authentic to yourself, if you're not being something unique, if people don't see that you're having fun, that they are going to disconnect because there's so many alternatives, especially in today's day and age. And you're definitely not going to get signed for your talent alone, unless you're Jay Malachi, who's just a fucking freak. And he's...
Dude, one of the biggest regrets is not being able to get him at Turbo, but he was only available and legal in South Carolina for like 6 months before he got signed. Yeah. He would come up to me at all these shows and be like, when I'm 18, I'm coming to work for you. I was like, great, perfect. Call me on your 18th birthday. Because, South Carolina licensing and all that. And then all of a sudden, I was like, oh, never mind. Can't use you. You're signed, kid. Good job. Didn't need me. But what they're looking for now anyway, like if you're on the indies and you are not, a D1 recruit, you better get your ass in the gym and really find something that stands out. Look at a guy like Sean Legacy, he's in the WWE ID right now. Or like Jackson Drake. Those are two guys that, like they have that incredible level of talent, but also like they know who they are and they have made themselves look on par with, the D1 athletes. Like, you see Sean Legacy standing across the ring from a former D1 football player and you're like, oh, like, yeah, no, this guy still belongs in the ring with this guy, like physically, like the look wise. For any young wrestlers out there, like characters are super over now. Super serious, 2007, 2008 Ring of Honor style, like just focusing on being like a real wrestler or whatever. That's super played out. get you a fun entrance jacket. Find like Mad Dog is not like a character, but it's like Mad Dog is a moniker that I can place on me being the side of me that is compelling to people. Mad Dog is basically like me after like 4 or 5 beers. Like if I'm out with my friends downtown or something, then after I've been drinking a little bit, I'm talking a little bit more like this. It's a little more erratic. I slide into character because like it's part like that's the part of me that is more compelling than just boring old me sitting and playing Football Manager all day. Yeah. And it's not like me being like. It's not me trying to work out problems either. Like it's not me being all emo about whatever and using the ring as therapy. It's like, hey, like what is compelling about me that other people don't have that is unique to me that I can present and in a way. And some people that comes out. I saw this kid I wrestled on that. Not gonna make this a less evergreen episode. Just last weekend, I saw this kid down at Disruptor in Georgia with a lifeguard. His name's like Izzy Vane, I believe. Izzy Vaden. As Vaden, yeah. Lifeguard gimmick. And he wrestled Man Scout, big Man Scout guy.
Yeah.
I love me some Jake Manning. And like the lifeguard thing, like it's so dumb, but like it works so well because like. He doesn't just come out with the lifeguard thing. He like wrestles the way you'd think a lifeguard would. And like he did a spot where like he gave the ref CPR after a ref bump to bring him back and all that. Like stupid stuff like that gets so much more of a reaction than like, wow, look how crisp my snap suplex is, everyone. I'm a submission master. No one cares. Yeah. Be a submission master, but like do it in like an entertaining way. Like have the best suplex, but like do it in a compelling way.
Like Evil Uno, like the stuff that he did, like PWG, like with the remote control die, and like
the game cartridges and stuff, like that kind of stuff is stuff people talk about. You want to be the guy on the show that people talk about, not the one that people are like, oh, like yeah, he was solid. That other guy though, that was crazy. Like they remember those moments and those interactions and those little things way more than like, oh wow, did you see that cool spot where they did all this blah 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 and like a lucha? Yeah.
It's why in 2025 I still think about Heidenreich probably once a week. Like I shouldn't but he's there. Like as a kid, like that made an impression on me.
Yeah, I mean like we talked about the Undertaker versus Big Daddy V being the first thing that I remember, and I don't remember like the moves they hit. And like I said, like the match wasn't very good, but like the first time you hear the gong hit, is a special thing for anybody. Like even non-wrestling people, like the gong hits and the lights turn off. They're like, okay, well I'm paying attention for a minute now.
Yeah, the lights.
As opposed to I'm coming out in my trunks and gonna come out and lock up, brother. That's the stuff that makes wrestling. Otherwise, like people who watch UFC.
Yeah.
But yeah, that like I said, that realization for me took me 10, 11 years of being around wrestling to kind of like realize how it worked. And unfortunately, I had a lot of guys helping me along and like helping make these realizations. Ethan Case was really big for me. Ethan Case was instrumental in me discovering Mad Dog and being like, hey, like remember, like if you're having fun, the crowd's going to be having fun. So let's find something for you to do that you like doing. Man, that is a picture right there. So yeah, let's move on to this picture. This is great. This is the 2014 NWA Fan Fest in Charlotte. So from left to right, we got Jackson James, Ethan Case, Danny Boy Rogers, I believe. He was from Scotland. Then we got Chase Owens, me, and the Muscle Cat Saxon Huxley, formerly of NXT UK, currently in Pro Wrestling Noah. This was like this was like such a fun week. This is one of those where like you look back and it's like, these are the good times, brother. We showed up and we would train for like 4 hours in the morning and then just like party all day and then do a show at night and then party until midnight and then wake up at like 4 a.m. and train more the next day. Like Dr. Tom Pritchard, Nigel McGuinness, Les Thatcher, Lance Storm were the coaches that week. And it was my first time meeting like so many people from like outside of the Carolinas. Like Dijak was there.
Yeah.
I remember doing a drill with Dijak and I accidentally stiffed him a little bit on a senton. Dijak, if you're listening, sorry. I met Cheeseburger that week for the first time. Cheeseburger's absolute sweetheart. And Cheeseburger's one of those guys too where like he like wouldn't see you for like 2-3 years, but like immediately remember. Like I am confident I haven't talked to Cheeseburger in like 6-7 years since I've been in the same room with him. But like if he walked in right now, I'd be like, "Oh hey Josh, what's up?" and like remember my name.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, this was a super fun week. This was at the formal dinner thing, obviously, as you can tell by Chase Owens' Affliction shirt. Man, this just screams 2014, doesn't it?
Yeah. The guy on your, not Chase Owens, kind of looks like Gary Goldman, the comedian, a little bit. You familiar with him?
Yeah, which one are you talking about?
The really tall.
Who looks like talking about Saxon Huxley.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what,
Yeah, this very 2014 Saxon Huxley coded. Now he's got the big beard and doing crazy stuff in Noah. Oh, so proud of my boy Saxon Huxley.
Since we're on the pictures, this is the one that we had before. We were talking about Steve Carino a little bit. It seemed kind of like, first off, just to show you how committed we are. This isn't a picture. This is a screenshot. I had to pause. Perfect.
Wow.
Yeah. So,
which match was this?
I don't. It was just on the.
Was it a tag team? You remember?
You versus him for Matt Hardy, not Steve Carino.
It's Steve. Oh, Matt Hardy. Yeah. So Steve, the picture on the left. Yeah. This is us at PWF in the bingo hall with the low ceiling. And Steve was wonderful to me when I worked for PWF back then. I actually ran a feud with him and CW Anderson. I had a partner who was working as Steve's Monster C mask gimmick from Japan.
Yeah.
Come out like the whole Kill Bill suit and everything. And we did a little program with him where I had like 2 or 3 hardcore matches against Steve and CW. Then just stretches. There's over like 2-3 years I got to work Steve 4 or 5 times, and like Steve, like you just learn something new every single time you get in the ring. And he was so generous to me. Like he put me over in his own promotion, and I mean taught me a lot about being selfless. With like he could have easily been like, all right, brother, we're going out and I'll beat you in 5 minutes, and I couldn't have argued.
Yeah.
But out and like wrestled 20 minutes with me and like let me help him put the match together and let me, feel what it was like to wrestle at like this completely different level from what I was used to.
Yeah.
And so Steve was phenomenal. And on the right is Matt Hardy. This would have been an Ultra Wrestle, which was Pro Wrestling Turbo before it was Pro Wrestling Turbo. So Matt came and we worked in Greenville. So that was really cool getting to do that in front of my hometown people. A bunch of my friends came.
Yeah.
And Matt was a joy. Like he was so giving. He actually I won that match.
Yeah,
Just like in the middle of the match, like right before we went home, he was like, "Okay, kick out, twist of fate," and then hit me with a lariat. And I was like, "Oh, really?" And he was like, "Yeah, man, let's go." This match was also famous for I took my first ever superplex. He throws me up on the top rope and comes climbing up, and he was like, "Hey, are you cool taking a superplex?" And I was like, "Well, I've never taken one." And we had this conversation on the top rope, and he was like, "Well, there's no better time for you to learn." And we just kind of went. That was really surreal working with Matt because he was also on that first episode of SmackDown that I watched back in like 2008 or whatever it was, or 2007 or however, whatever. And so like getting to be in the ring with him, it it was just like it's just a completely different feeling, completely different experience. When you're in the ring with somebody who has spent so much time at the top.
Yeah.
His brain just works on a different wavelength from everybody else's. And he beat the shit out of me. I distinctly remember during setup for this show, somebody wasn't paying attention and clipped me with like the base of the ring, like the base of like the ring post, and it took a chunk out of the side of my just out of my side.
Yeah.
And so I was bleeding underneath my singlet the entire match. And I think I was like going into like septic shock or something because I was like shaking before the match.
Yeah.
And then we went out and wrestled 30 minutes. And yeah, that's one of my favorite matches ever, just because of how special it was. Man, if I could wrestle Matt Hardy in 2025 instead of 2014, it'd be so much better. Like, Matt, call me, let's run it back.
Yeah.
Because actually, we wouldn't have to do as much, brother. It'd be a lot more fun.
Yeah. You got to get him that superplex back too.
Oh, brother, we're superplexing. We might add some Legos into the mix.
So this just seemed like a fun picture. Formerly Timmy Lou. I asked a question on one of the podcasts. Do you think ribbon twirling is a sport? So I'll ask that question to you. Do you think that it's a sport?
In this picture, it sure is.
Okay.
Yeah. So me and Timmy Lou, this has been like same era, probably 2014, 2015. This was in like the Benton Convention Center, I believe, for PWX in front of like 12 people because we were running against the vape convention downstairs. So like every few minutes, like somebody opened the door and like wafts of vape would come in. So we were tagging against the Bravado Brothers in this match, and I think we called ourselves Chocolate Pain. And came out to Chocolate Rain by Tay Zonde. And this was another one of those where I was glad that it was like with Tim, because he's always had I feel like I was like his 7th match in Gouge, and even back then he understood who he was. Like, I know he's like evolved into something completely different with doing the Infinite Man stuff, but Timmy Lou Retton was kind of like, you looked at him and you realized, oh, like, he understands what this is. Like, he understands what this is about. And his stuff was always fun. Like, his stuff was always different. He was the guy that people went home and talked about, the gymnast that was on the show or whatever.
Yeah.
So we got to tag here, and it was just so much fun getting to go out and, like, he's very game to do whatever. Like, he's okay being a little bit silly. And so, like, during his entrance, he'd come out with the streamers, and so I just grabbed the streamer from him and was like, "Oh, like, I'm a gymnast today too. Like, we're having this match is also famous for it was like my tryout for PWX the first time, and Lancelot Bravado, while I was choking him in the corner with my boot, starts like untying my boot. So on commentary, they're like, "Oh, and Josh Powers appears to be having problems with his gear. Like, he needs to figure that out." It's like, it's because he keeps untying my boot. What can do? Yeah, that was the night.
Yeah.
I remember that. I think Cedric was on that show. I think Ricochet might have been there. Yeah, that was man. That's 10 years ago. I don't like this segment. It makes me feel old.
Yeah, well, we'll fast forward a little bit.
The Breakfast Club is like the time of my life that I sold the most T-shirts, because everybody was doing the Bullet Club ripoff thing around the 2016, 2017 time frame. This was so much fun because it was just me and my boy, now AJ Slambino on TikTok. But yeah, like Anthony kind of like showed up in Greenville. He like moved here. And we were introduced through like a mutual friend or whatever. And we just immediately like got along. We immediately took to each other. He started taking me to shows in Florida. We did, actually, I met Mark James with him at a seminar in Virginia with Bob Evans around this time. And, yeah, the Breakfast Club was so much fun because it was another one of those things that, like, kind of helped me evolve into, like, I don't have to I just need a fun gimmick.
Yeah.
Like handing out donuts on the way to the ring is the easiest way to get over. Kids, if you're listening and you're looking for a way to get over, hand out food on the way to the ring. People will like you.
Especially that dude right
people will be happy.
He looks super happy with the
Oh yeah, no, and I look super happy in that one picture. I was also, I put on like 20 pounds doing this gimmick because I was eating donuts every single weekend.
committing to the bit.
You gotta live the gimmick, brother. Yeah. Like the breakfast guy can't not eat donuts. But we got the picture on the right is funny. That would have been that's Martin Stone in the picture now. That would have been for Brainbuster Pro in Pompano Beach, Florida. And I remember this match because I retired after this match. Because I was so done with wrestling at that point. I was over it. Breakfast Club was the only reason I was still going. And I had that match with Martin Stone and Aaron Epic, with Anthony. And I was like, fuck it. Like, this is my last match. I'm gonna go all out. I'm gonna do my best, and then we're gonna drive home, and I'm not gonna think about wrestling anymore. And after the match, Martin Stone comes up to me and he's like, "Oh, like you were really good. Like that was great. When are you gonna come back?" I was like, "No, actually, I'm retiring after the match because I fucking hate wrestling." And he was like, "Well, that's a shame. You're really good." And then just walked off. That was all he said. And I was watching the main event, and like MVP was there. I think he was in like a 6-man tag in the main. And I was sitting there watching the match with TK, and I was like, "Hey, this ain't gonna last more than like 3 months, is it?" And he's like, "Oh no, you're gonna be back." And sure enough, within like 4 months, I was like, "Yeah, no, this sucks. I miss wrestling." So that was my last match of before my first retirement tour.
Yeah, this is when you come back with the number 45.
Number 45?
That is Michael Jordan. He came back one of
oh yeah. Sorry, I missed out on that one.
It's okay.
What is this one?
I don't know.
I'm glad I ditched the beard. That is one thing I'll say. I think I'm rocking the mustache. So this would have been an OSCW. I recognize that black backdrop. I don't know the exact angle this was, but OSCW in Charleston is such a fun place to work because like you never know what you're doing. Yeah. And so like you walk in and you could be just have or you could be working Gangrel. I worked Kevin Thorne, Mordecai a bunch of times down there. I worked Barbarian down there. I worked Francisco Ciazzo. Like it's such a like different mix of people that come through at OSCW. And so it was really cool because like Gangrel is such a sweetheart, so much fun to work with. And then like the first time you wrestle him, the whole time you're like, yeah, like that's Gangrel. Like, and there's some people like Gangrel that like like wrestling Matt Hardy was cool, but like he was a lot more. I don't know. It felt a lot more. You get in with Gangrel, you're like, oh shit, I'm wrestling Gangrel. Like this is so cool, and it's. And that's what, going back to the gimmick thing or whatever, it's like, oh, cool, he's a vampire. Yeah. Like, Matt Hardy's Matt Hardy, but Gangrel's Gangrel. Yeah. So I don't know exactly what the angle was on this. I have never seen this picture. I don't know where you found it.
I don't know. I think it was on maybe your tag pictures on Facebook.
Man, I have no idea what this is. But, it checks out that I would have... been doing some kind of run-in and looking like I'm marking out a little bit for Gangrel.
Just a little bit.
It all checks out.
All right, so we talked a little bit about the Mad Dog character a little bit here. So I guess we could kind of pick up off there, and then the last picture that I have kind of dives into your life outside of wrestling. But what do you...
Oh, boy.
Yeah, it's actually for your missionary work. I hope that's okay.
Oh well, we'll get through it, brother.
That was a joke. Sorry, that was a bad joke.
This would have been from one of my first Mad Dog Mayhem matches, actually. So Ethan Case also helped me come up with Mad Dog Mayhem, because he was like, oh, like, you know, like Raven had Raven's rules, like you should have your own branded hardcore match.
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh, Mad Dog. Anyway, so this would have been Halloween of 2022. I want to say 22 or 23. And this is me versus James Drake and TJ Boss. It's funny because we actually, this is for Turbo, which, you know, I help behind the scenes with. And I had originally booked James Drake for it. And then like 2 weeks out, he was like, oh, sorry, like I had something come up. I'm not going to be able to make it. And so I booked TJ Boss, and I was like, great, like that's fine. Like I'll just do one-on-one with TJ. And then Drake messaged me back. He's like, just kidding. I can do it now. Let's do it. And so we just turned it into a three-way, and it was so much fun. Like Drake used a bowling ball. I hit Drake in the head with a pumpkin. That's a fun one. It's on YouTube somewhere floating around. This was less fun when they like sandwiched me with the chairs.
Yeah.
Because they're both, you know, big chair hitting motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a fun one. And that venue, Brewery 85, God rest its soul. Turbo keeps shutting venues down. Like we're on our like fifth venue, and like four of them have closed down. Mm-hmm. If you're listening to this in South Carolina, write your senator about the liquor liability laws. Get on them about that so they stop closing our venues. That's my political stand for the day. But yeah, so
the first like 10 minutes of the podcast.
Yeah, just forget about all that too. Yeah. But yeah, so that was kind of one of the early Mad Dog Mayhem matches. They've evolved. I've added stuff, changed stuff. I got some metal chairs instead of the plastic chairs. Yeah, that was quite a night. Our Halloween shows are always my favorite at Turbo.
Yeah.
Because like the match right before this was like a costumed thing. I think there was like a 6-man where Josh Cutshaw, Sean Legacy, and Cody Fluffman were dressed as Cutshaw was Luigi, Sean was Mario, and Cody was Princess Peach. So that was an extraordinarily fun show. Yeah, go Pro Wrestling Turbo. Check us out.
All right. And then this last picture here is a little bit of the improv we talked about a little bit. And then also the Oscar Mayer Wienermobile. Right? Main reason for including this in here, does it smell like hot dogs?
The Oscar Mayer Wienermobile does not smell like hot dogs. It smells remarkably like a car. But yeah, so this picture's actually funny because this was at my real job. I work for the news, which is why I can't come on First Bake. Because they'll be like, oh, why are you smoking weed in the public forums? I don't do drugs. Anybody at work watching? Yeah, so I just got. This was outside the Shriners Hospital in Greenville. We went, and the Oscar Mayer Wienermobile was like visiting all the Shriners Hospital patients, and so we were covering that. And my reporter, fresh out of college, like 22 years old, God bless her, had no idea what the Oscar Mayer Wienermobile was.
Oh no!
Made me feel so incredibly old. I got the Wiener whistle somewhere around here, yes, I was like, before we leave, obviously, I'm getting my picture in the Wienermobile. Like, this is a dream come true for any millennial boy. Getting to check out the Wienermobile. Yeah, what a thing to aspire to. I wish I had driven the Wienermobile out of college. Because they have like interns or something driving it. That was cool, and I have a lot more news stories than wrestling stories, honestly. But yeah, and then on the left is me not being able to stop deadlifting during an improv show. Mm-hmm. I had to show off how strong I was. But yeah, I perform at Alchemy Comedy Theater in Greenville. So if you're ever in Greenville and want to check out an improv show, come through. I'm on a team called Laugh Track right now, where we do like combination of like short form, long form improv with kind of like a TV theme to it, which is a lot of fun. And so we have shows on Thursdays. Yep. So come check us out. Watch me do. improv is way easier on my body. So, so come watch me do something that doesn't involve getting like dropped on my head.
Oh yeah. Rapid fire question part of the show: Del Close or Del Far Away, or Del Taco?
Ooh, that's a tough one. I'm gonna say I'm more of a UCB guy than an IO guy, so I'm gonna go with Del Taco over Del Close, or what was the other one?
Del Far Away. Or Del
Del Far Away. Oh yeah.
Where as well, if you'd like to.
Never been to Delaware. I'm gonna stick with Del Taco. That's my final answer. Lock it in.
Okay. Is Del Taco good? There's one that's opening up close to us. I've never been. There's so many things I've just heard about via podcasts.
I'm just gonna assume that Del Taco is good based on what everybody talks about.
Yeah.
I mean, it's surely no Taco Bell, but
They have fries. Well, now Taco Bell does too, but
well, I'm trying to cut now, so I'm not supposed to eat any of it. But
speaking of eating, you eat ass?
I'm not above it. Not above it.
It just takes the right person.
Yeah, you know, is what it is. I'm super single now, so I guess I can say sure, you know, whatever. It's 2025. What are you gonna do?
So you're super single. Do you remember the old, like, I've only seen them like being made fun of, but the VHS dating tapes where you like make a tape and people can look at it and see if they like you or not?
Yeah, I remember those. I'm not at the point of making a VHS yet. I'm not doing that bad. So that reminds me. I'm a big Last Podcast on the Left guy, and they
my
on their
God.
stream.
I-
On their stream, they played one video, and it was just this random like a morning news clip from like early 2000s, and they were it's like some like local news in New York, and they were doing a whole thing where they were highlighting, you know, they do the fluff stuff on the morning news.
Yeah.
So it's like local singles, like speed dating kind of group event that was coming up, and so they were doing this whole like weird on air singles dating schmoz or whatever. And it was real awkward, real late 90s, early 2000s coded. And then the clip cuts to, we have some breaking news, and it's 9/11. And it goes straight from like the morning of 9/11. They were doing this like weird, stupid dating show, and then it cuts to planes hit the World Trade Center. We'll bring you more. And they play on Last Podcast. I've watched that clip like 50 times. It's so funny.
Last Podcast, like I used to listen to podcasts all the time. My commute to work is very short now, and I have a kid. That's the only podcast that I listen to every week. It's probably my favorite podcast of all time.
Yeah, it's usually a must. I've listened to most of the episodes. There's like 700-800 of them probably.
Yeah.
Between that and Comedy Bang Bang, those are the two I've listened to the most. And I think Last Podcast I've definitely listened to more at this point. I love the conspiracy stuff, especially. I'm not a big conspiracy theory guy. I just think it's all fascinating and fun to learn about. Like the JFK episodes they did were so good. It actually changed my opinion on what happened with the whole JFK thing. They gave me some new thoughts and ideas. I'm too dangerous for the government now.
It's like they're fucking around so much, but at the same time they did like an 8-part series on Jamestown. Like it's very informed and it's very well researched, but it's fun. It's like, do you like true crime in general or just that?
Yeah, I enjoy true crime. As I get older, I found like I really want to like be into like slasher and that kind of like stuff, like the violent horror, and like I don't have the stomach for true crime and like gore and stuff like I used to. You know, I'm a 90s kid, so I grew up as a teenager going to my buddy's house and him being like, "Hey, like, ever seen liveleak.com? Like, you want to go to Best Gore and watch an ISIS beheading video?" So I feel like it definitely desensitized me for a while. And so I was a lot more into, the true crime stuff. But so as I get older, I don't have the stomach for it anymore. It feels too real, especially like working in news.
Yeah.
It's something I deal with a lot. Like I go to a lot of murder scenes. I go to a lot of traffic fatalities and stuff because that's what we cover apparently. And yeah, like that. So I'm not as into it anymore just because like I get so much of it in real life and I've sat in the room with the crying moms and so it's hard to like disengage from a lot of that. But no, the last podcast, I feel like they're really tasteful about the way they handle a lot of the true crime stuff. They laugh and joke about it, but I feel like it's never at the expense of like the victims and stuff, which I appreciate. So yeah, no, I love their true crime, but I definitely love their the conspiracy stuff, the fun stuff. Big Henry Zabrowski guy. He's another one that I'm just like I'll just go watch YouTube compilations of like him doing random stuff and being a gremlin. And it's one I love. If you watch Your Pretty Faces Going to Hell,
I haven't watched
his Adult Swim show, dude. If you can find it, like it's tough to find because they took it off all the streaming sites. So you gotta pirate it. Incredible show. It's so funny. I steal concepts from it all the time from improv shows because no one's ever seen it except for me. So
do you like Ed better than Ben? I feel like I'm starting to like him more.
Yes, I think so. It's a lot different dynamic. Ed's I don't want to dump on Ben because I know he's got his issues and all that to work through, but I definitely think that Ed, he just brings a lot more like positive energy to the show, which I feel like like they were a lot edgier at the beginning of the run, Hong Kong Henry Zabrowski and all that. But like as they've grown and matured, I feel like the show has kind of gone in a different direction, has a different vibe. Like you listen to their episodes, like 5-6 years ago, it's completely different from how it feels today.
And I like that about it too, because like I've changed and I've grown too. Like I feel like we've kind of all grown up together with a lot of these.
And like where 10 years ago, a lot of the edgy stuff, I would have been way more into. But now, like as an adult, I'm like, like those things are actually kind of hurtful, or these things are, it just doesn't appeal to me as much anymore to like punch down at people.
Like look at what like I think you should leave, like Corncob TV and Casket Flops and just like all of the genius stuff they're doing. Like that's literally like just fucking nonsense, but it's
and I definitely, I'm glad that comedy has kind of taken this little bit more compassionate turn, considering like the world we live in and stuff. I think, oh man, we're getting too philosophical. I definitely think that I think you kind of see that in wrestling too, because like we talked about the style was a real super serious, like late 2000s, early 2010s. But we definitely, I don't know if it's an internet thing or just a cultural thing, like the people that really blow up, that really stand out are the ones that really make you forget and make you have a little bit of fun. Like, your Luigi Primo pops in my head, doing the pizza dough and stuff. Like he blew up for a minute. Dan the Dad doing his, dumb coffee thing. Like it's so fun. Like it's so it's just so much fun for people to watch. Just recently, a bunch of people, 20 people from outside of wrestling sent me the clips of Steve and Flo coming out the Pearl Jam or whatever. It's that little stupid fun stuff that really stands out, and I think that the comedy that I consume has gone in the same direction of like, we're silly, we're getting away from like the outside, everything that's going on. So man, got too much philosophy in me tonight.
To like wrap it back up to wrestling, I think like the Mad Dog character, people like JP Lehman that are doing this, Rayhan and Tejas, that are like taking what you have and using it to the maximum potential. Like especially like if you look at Rayhan, just the stuff that he does with his promos, like the creativity, like with what you're doing, and then like JP Lehman, like getting over a gimmick that like if you heard it on paper, like you're just like, oh, like if you saw him and you read it on paper, you're just like, oh, it's kind of, but then you see it in action and it's like
Yeah.
this guy gets it.
Yeah. And especially like Rayhan, I remember when he was doing, his monster stuff.
Yeah.
But before he lost all the weight and everything, he looks absolutely incredible now.
Yeah.
Completely different person, completely different performer. Seeing knowing him then and knowing him now and seeing his work now, the difference is that he loves it now. Like before, like with the monster stuff, he was like super intense and serious, but like with the cream pie poppy stuff,
Yeah.
you can tell like when he goes to the ring, he's enjoying it. Like he's actually having fun in the ring. And I think that definitely translates, with the promos, in-ring stuff. The crowd is super behind him wherever he goes because he's got this fun, compelling thing going on. I don't know if I'd call it relatable per se, but it's this fun, silly thing that people can get behind, and the dude doing it is clearly having a good time. So like they're gonna obviously follow.
Yeah.
And so it's really cool to. I'm finally, I'm almost 15 years into wrestling, and I've been in the Carolinas for the whole time, and so it's fun to see guys like that, see them evolve.
Yeah.
Like I've evolved, but like so has everybody else around me. And seeing guys come and go, and the guys that stay like slowly start to figure things out and piece things together. It's really cool to see, especially when it's somebody like Rayhan who finally discovers the thing that they are having fun doing and reinvigorates their passion for this.
Yeah.
So it always makes my heart happy to see him go out with the cream, and sometimes he has them left over, and I get one. So.
Awesome. Last question. Who are some people that you think that more people should know about as far as, let's do wrestlers, but also like comedians? Let's give
Me, bitch.
Let's give people an alternative to Joe Rogan.
Book me to wrestle. I need to be more places.
Yeah.
Guys that I'm gonna be real biased. A lot of guys we use at Turbo, I think, are pretty phenomenal. A lot of the PCW guys, like PWA guys. I've worked with Aaron Barry a lot lately. But we've got mainstays on our roster. Like Raylan Albee, Florida Man, Dre the Goat, the Moody Brothers, Eric Ademia, and all that. All kids that work hard, and I'm leaving some of them out. But anybody from PWA really, they're like really good kids. They work hard. They bring good attitudes. They work their asses off. Dean Richards is a guy that I've mentioned before. He's like me, he's been around for a little while, but I feel like he's never really gotten his due. And he's somebody that we've kind of like built around at Turbo, is like a hometown babyface kind of thing. And he's just like so like technical, and he's a guy that gets it. He doesn't have a ton of ego. He's like, yeah, like let's go out and tell a story and have a good match and get super over somehow or another. Which I just tagged with him against Big Game James and Aaron Barry at Turbo a couple days before the recording of this. I don't know when you're listening to this. Hopefully you're listening to it immediately. Get those numbers up, pump the numbers up. Who else is there? Man, what a tough question, because there's gonna be so many people that are mad that I didn't say their name. Come check out Pro Wrestling Turbo. I all the people that I book, I believe in.
Oh yeah.
So check us out for the people that you should know more.
And then as far as, let's give people some alternative comedy to the Andrew Schultz, the Joe Rogues, the
Definitely go find Conor O'Malley, like now. Like first thing you do after this, go bookmark a bunch of Conor O'Malley stuff on YouTube. Let me see what else I have going on.
If you wrestling, Ron Funches, he is a great comedian, loves wrestling. Matt McCarthy, was actually a writer for WWE, does comedy. He's a wrestling fan.
Then there's Well, now I'm scrolling through my Instagram to see what pops up, and I'm seeing crazy spots from TNA. They really didn't catch that poor kid. Definitely all like if you're anyone listening to this, if you haven't been around like the Earwolf adjacent, like for the company formerly known as Earwolf, I guess, like the comedy Bang Bang universe adjacent people, you know, your Paul F. Tompkins, the Hollywood Handbook boys. If you're into comedy and you somehow have avoided these people to this point, like DM me. I'll give you people to look up.
Yeah.
I don't know who's mainstream anymore. What's the mainstream? I don't think Paul F. Tompkins counts as mainstream, even though he was in BoJack Horseman.
Yeah. His pie bit, Cake versus Pie.
Yeah.
One of my favorite.
Generational.
Yeah.
Transcendental.
Yeah. He's such.
What have I been into lately?
You like Nathan Fielder at all?
I put off watching the new episode of The Rehearsal to do this podcast. You're welcome.
I'm sorry. I went on a dive. You ever watch Nathan on Your Side? Like his
his old like Canadian public access TV stuff.
I went on like a 2-hour dive of that the other night.
Watching it as a precursor to Nathan For You is like it's just so much fun. I can't believe that like it got on TV.
Yeah.
Like it was such a funny like consume.
Yeah.
They do it different up in Canada. No, big Nathan Fielder guy. Then obviously I've mentioned Eric Andre, but that's hardly somebody that no one's heard of anymore. Yeah. But no, I remember watching Eric Andre when it was just like him on the old Adult Swim set with Hannibal, like and like the low production value, like season 1 Seinfeld, like so much fun stuff. I wanna have like an Abraham Lincoln impersonator or something come out and like do a run in during my match just out of nowhere. Like that would just like I love that off the wall absurd style that Eric introduced me to, I guess. Yeah. But yeah, so I guess those are my big things I'm into with comedy.
Thank you so much. This was fun. Probably not.
This was fun. I'll have to come back and keep riffing on everything, you know?
Yeah.
It was a good time. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course, man. Thank you for missing Nathan Fielder for this.
He'll still be there. It's somebody else's Max login, so I'm not paying for it.
Who do you think you are? I am!
I warm it up like Kane in his prime. Fuck with us, you insane in the mind. You cowards way out of line. Money talk, boy, you wasting my time. You don't want to put the work